welcome to Week 12 of the Amalgamblog College Football Report. I'm obviously not TJ. I'm pinch hitting for him. It's after midnight. Let's get this started, starting with contender and pretender. Our contender this week is the Praying Colonels of Center College in Kentucky. Now, you may be asking yourself, who are the Praying Colonels of Center College, besides a team that has an awesome nickname? Well, as someone who has grown up pulling for a 1AA team, I have a heart for the smaller schools out there. And so in doing contender this week, I thought, what's a Division III team that, could use a little boost in the limelight? So I went and I looked for the Division III poll, and I saw that Center College had just cracked the top 25, and they're going to be playing in the first round of the D3 playoffs this week against Hampton-Sydney College. So Center College, you are our contender for the week, and I hope you enjoyed this moment in the sun on a seldom seen online college football report. Good luck in the playoffs, guys. Our pretender for the week is Yale Bowl Championship Series. That's right, everybody, the BCS. A short while ago, Iowa State shocked number 2 Oklahoma State 37-31 in double overtime, sending the BCS system into absolute chaos. Now, I understand that ranting about the BCS is as much a part of this season as people listening to Christmas music way too early and looking forward to your pie on Turkey Day, but let's still be honest. As much fun as the chaos might be, and as much fun as it is to talk about all these hypothetical scenarios of who's going to face who in the national championship game, let's get right down to it. It's a computer determining who's going to be in the national championship. It's just un-American. We should decide it on the field. Besides, 16-team playoff, 4 weekends of just football nirvana. Why are we against this? It sounds awesome. They say it would never work. It would never work. But it does. 1AA, Division II, Division III. They all do it. It works. It's been working for years. BCS, I know it's easy to rag on you, and I know people say it all the time. But seriously, playoffs, great idea. Has been for a long time. All right, now let's move on to our games to watch. We'll start off by heading up to Ann Arbor for a Big Ten clash between the Nebraska Cornhuskers and the Wolverines of Michigan, a battle of 2 top 25 foes. This is a bit of a hard game to peg. The Big Ten's been an unpredictable conference this year. Nebraska's coming off of that emotional win at Penn State last week and everything that was surrounding that. They're going into the Big House to play Michigan, and that's the main reason that I like the Wolverines. Just coming off of that big, draining, emotional win, and playing in Ann Arbor, which is just a really tough place to play in. The team seems pretty evenly matched, and so I'm going to give the nod to Michigan for that game. Next, we're going to head out west for a big Pac-12 matchup between the University of Southern California and the number 4 Ducks of Oregon, coming off of their big win over Stanford last week. This game is interesting for several reasons. First of all, Oregon in the mix of things for the national championship with Oklahoma State's loss. Now, they lost to LSU earlier in the season, so most people aren't going to give them a chance, but again, whoever the computer decides, they're going to go there, I guess. But even more than that, Southern California is currently serving out their postseason ban for the Reggie Bush incident. And so they're not going to a bowl game, and they can't even actually be ranked in the coaches poll. They're ranked in the AP poll. So basically all SoCal can do is mess up other people's seasons, and they're a pretty good team. Now, I don't think they're going to win this game, mainly because I think Oregon has more depth. Scholarships have started to be taken away from USC, but they are going to be even more so on down the road. Oregon's been playing really strong of late. They're playing in Oregon, and so I'm going to have to give it to the Ducks. Quack, quack, quack. And finally, we're going to make our first visit to the Ivy League for the classic rivalry matchup between the Harvard Crimson and the Bulldogs of Yale. For this one, let's just drop a little history on you. The first time Harvard and Yale played was in 1875. It is the third oldest rivalry in all of college football. And yes, we will probably be working for most of these football players one day. Yale leads the series 65-54-8. That would be 8 ties. That used to happen in college football. Doesn't so much anymore with overtimes. But Yale holds the upper hand in the series, but I'm going to have to pull for Harvard in this game and pick them. Why, you may ask? Well, because I have no earthly idea anything about Harvard and Yale and just looked and saw that Harvard has a better record, so we're going to go with the Crimson in this one over the Bulldogs. Now it's time for Hometown Heroes. This week, the number 14 South Carolina Gamecocks will take on the Bulldogs of the Citadel. Last week, the Gamecocks finished off their SEC season by beating Florida 17-12. The Citadel wrapped up their SoCon slate with a 19-14 loss to Samford. This game is a tune-up for the Gamecocks before the showdown with Clemson next week. South Carolina obviously has a more talented team than the Citadel, but I think the Citadel is going to hang with them for a while. South Carolina has had a hard time putting away FCS teams in recent years. They always come out on top, but it hasn't always been easy for it. I do see South Carolina's depth and talent and speed giving them the upper hand, and they'll pull away as the game gets late, but it'll probably be a little iffy for them for a little bit. But the Gamecocks will definitely pull it out, and pull it out easily, and the final score will show that. Next, the number 7 Clemson Tigers travel up to Raleigh to take on the NC State Wolfpack. Clemson is coming off of a last-second 31-28 victory over Wake Forest that clinched the ACC championship berth for them. NC State is coming off of a disappointing 14-10 loss to Boston College. The Tigers have already clinched a spot in the ACC championship, so this game would have had a little bit of a trap game potential, except the door has opened just slightly for them to possibly be in the talk as a dark horse to the national championship picture. Because of that, I don't see Clemson sleeping on this game. If that weren't the case, I'd be a little bit tempted to maybe pick NC State to pull off the upset at home. But with Clemson having that chance to possibly be in the mix for the national championship, I see the Tigers pulling this one out on the road. Finally, Furman has their annual David versus Goliath matchup as they travel down to Gainesville to take on the Florida Gators. Furman is coming off of a devastating loss to Elon last week that almost all but eliminated their playoff chances. Florida, as mentioned earlier, lost last week to South Carolina 17-12. Last week was a really disappointing week for my beloved Paladins, and I'm a little bit worried about them heading into the swamp to play the Gators this week. It was going to be a tall task playing them as it was, but after such a devastating, heartbreaking loss last week, I'm worried the game might get a little bit ugly. Now, I've seen Furman show a lot of heart and a lot of resolve this season. I hope that they can dig down deep and show that in this game and play a game in which will be a respectful showing for an FCS team against such a talented BCS team. But still, Florida will win the game, probably win it by several touchdowns. But Paladins, you know what? Make us proud down there in Gainesville. That's it for this week's College Football Report. TJ will hopefully be back next week for a big rivalry week with lots of major games with a lot of implication for the Bowls. But anyway, have yourself a good week. God bless, and we'll see you later.